Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album War, or Classic Live Album War, I should say. We've got two pretty cool prog rock live albums here. The first from a supergroup called UK, Night After Night Live, recorded in Japan, Tokyo to be exact, released in 1979. The other from perennial prog favorites, Yesshows, released in 1980. All right. Basically, by the time these are like out in the stores, both bands are kind of ceased to exist at that point, right? But what better way to keep the kind of legacy and memory and music of a band alive than releasing a live album, right? So let's take a look at the first one that came out of these two. Okay, so we got UK Night After Night Live. All right, basically the band down to a trio by this point. Okay, you've got John Wetton on bass and vocals. You've got, of course, Eddie Jobson on keyboards and violin and all sorts of various electronics, and none other than Terry Bozzio on drums. Both Terry and Eddie coming from Frank Zappa's band. All right, we know the story. Alan Holdsworth was either left or was kicked out of UK, depending on who you listen to, due to creative differences after that first album and tour. Bill Bruford didn't really agree with that, so he decided to fly the coop as well. So they just, thought about getting another guitar player. In the end, they decided not to. They brought Terry in to play drums. Okay, of course, they released the Danger Money album, a really, really strong album, a little different than that first album, right? And then while they're out on tour, playing in Japan, in Tokyo, as a matter of fact, at the Nakano Sun Plaza, end of May 1979, they record some of the live stuff, actually all of it, released a single LP set, later re-released, okay, with all the other stuff performed. I don't have that version, obviously, so I'm going to just talk about the one that I have and that I've heard. So it kicks off with the title track, actually, which is not a song that appeared on either of the first two studio albums. The band were talking about making another studio album, but unfortunately broke up before that happened. My guess is Night After Night would have wound up on that album. Really good track, right? You can kind of hear, there's two new songs on this live album that the band had put together and were playing live that they didn't actually record for a studio album, that for me kind of hint at the direction that Wetton especially would take with Asia. Night After Night is one of those, okay? It's kind of, I'm not going to say it's overly commercial, but it's a lot of hooks in it, okay? Just enough kind of prog muscle there to keep it exciting, right? But a good, catchy tune. I really dig it a lot. And then you've got Rendezvous 602. Okay, that's not Rendezvous 602. I thought I was doing the time. Sorry, Rendezvous. Okay, really cool tune from the band. Then you got Nothing to Lose. All right, Nothing to Lose. Another really catchy tune. Again, for me, Danger Money. The second studio album. That's kind of like the kind of humble beginnings of what would become Asia, obviously, though much more in the prog rock style. Then you've got As Long As You Want Me Here, another one of those newer tracks. Again, I hear Asia all over that, or certainly like that early John Wetton solo stuff right before Asia. But just, it's cool. It's kind of proggy, but it's got a lot of pop hooks in it. Very, very cool. And then over on side 2 of the LP, you've got the wonderful Alaska, from the very first UK album, which for me is, especially on this live album, it's like an ELP song, man. Eddie is just killing it on the synths. Love it. All right. And then Time to Kill, another great track from that first album. All right. Presto Vivace. Again, I think sometimes we forget just how great a keyboard player Eddie is. He is sensational. And if you love early Keith Emerson and Rick Wakeman and all those guys, man, you got to listen to this dude because, he does some stunning stuff on this album, on this live album. All right, at times you'll blink and you'll be like, oh my God, that sounds like a long-lost ELP album. Really, really great. Then you've got In the Dead of Night, the classic from that first album, minus Holdsworth's guitar solo, of course. You've got Eddie stepping in and doing his thing, right? And then Caesar's Palace Blues to kind of finish it all off. Kind of a short album. It's only, I think, 41, 42 minutes long. But obviously the extended version, which I probably should seek out, has got all sorts of other stuff. But as it is, Still really good on its own, right? Really good on its own as a single disc version or a single album version, whatever. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I still prefer UK with the original lineup. But I think that the trio format still has a lot of merit, right? Still really good. All right, so Yesshows, released in 1980, recorded from various places between 1976 and 1978, various lineups. Well, I shouldn't say various lineups. Mainly what you have here is the lineup with Wakeman and the lineup with Patrick Moraz. Okay, so you got a couple tracks from Moraz, the rest are all with Wakeman on the various tours. So you got stuff from the Relayer tour and, of course, Tormato. And then, the band's kind of kaput, right? Then you got Drama. All right. After Drama, that's kind of done. There's no Yes until 90125. So, like I said, both of these albums coming out when basically neither band is existing at that point. So, but what do we got on the wonderful Yesshows? So, a lot of people have always talked over the years how even though Yes Songs, the first Yes album released 6 or 7 years prior, has the better performances, never the greatest sounding live album. This is a really good live album, even though taken from various shows. Stellar sound quality on this and really good performances and some killer guitar playing from Mr. Steve Howe on this. All right, so it kicks off with Parallels, all right, off of the great Going for the One album recorded at the Ahoy Hall in Rotterdam, 1977. A killer rendition of Parallels, again with some stellar lead guitar work from Mr. Howe. I've always loved Parallels a lot as a song, and he's just off the charts on this. Then you got the lovely Time in a Word, all right, one of their earlier songs. This one recorded from Empire Pool in London in 1978. Okay, then that leads into Going for the One, title track from that album, recorded at Festhalle Frankfurt, all right, from 1977. Good version of it. A lot of good pedal steel guitar from Mr. Howe on that one, and a good vocal from Anderson hitting all those high notes, Then, of course, on side 2 of the LP, you've got the wonderful Gates of Delirium off the Relayer album, one of my favorite epic tracks from the band, performed impeccably here. Really, really good. Unfortunately, I never got to see the band. I was a little too young with Patrick Moraz, but I always loved the work he did on that Relayer album and all the live stuff I've ever heard from that tour. Pretty damn good. This one recorded at Cobo Hall in Detroit. We've been talking a lot about Cobo Hall lately, 1976. All right, over to kick off side 3 of the LP, you've got a spirited version of Don't Kill the Whale. All right, a popular track from the band, recorded at Empire Pool in London in 78. And then we've got a really, really spectacular version of Ritual, Part 1, from Tales from Topographic Oceans, recorded in August of 1976. Okay, and what's really cool about that is you've got Mr. Moraz playing on that. All right, very, very neat, very neat. What else we got here? Ritual Part 2, okay, obviously we got the sides of vinyl, right, over on split into 2 parts. You don't have to worry about on the CD. Ritual Part 2, okay, also from 1976, the same performance, split in 2 on the LP. You don't have to worry about turning the LP over on the CD. And then it finishes it all off with Wondrous Stories from 1977, okay. Another great rendition of a very popular tune. So kind of what you have on this live set is you've got a couple of their more kind of commercial sounding tracks from those last couple albums, specifically from Going for the One and Tormato for the most part, and then 2 epics from Relayer and Tales from Topographic Oceans, okay, with Time in a Word thrown in there. So, couple more appealing melodic kind of catchy tunes, and then the 2 major epics, but all sounding really good with great performances, and I dig it. It's like I think that throughout my life, and especially as my life as a fan of Yes, I always reach for Yes songs before this one. But you know what? This is damn good. It really is. And I think it's kind of like the younger sibling that doesn't get all the attention. You know, the older brother or sister is the one who wins all the awards and you know, scores high on the SATs and graduates with honors and gets the scholarships, while the younger siblings kind of like hoping that they'll eventually be looked at as highly as the older brother or sister. But in actuality, now all grown up all these years later, this holds up pretty damn well. Okay? You know, maybe for some people, I know some people have issues with live albums that are taken from various stages and lineups and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get that. But as a whole, if you don't kind of spend too much time worrying about that, this is a really good live album. And come on, that cover, whew, great. So what am I going to vote? You know what? I really dig both of these a lot. But when it comes down to it, you know, this is Yes we're talking about here. And I got to go with Yesshows, okay, by unanimous decision, but a strong performance from UK is what it is, right? Yes is going to win this one. Unanimous decision. 119, 110, 117, 111, 115, 113. Unanimous decision for Yes. For me, that's my choice, but you know, you can't go wrong with either one. So if you like one over the other, that's totally cool. Want to hear your thoughts. Also, make sure you go up and vote. That little white circle with the I in it. Click on that. All right. You can choose either Yes or UK. You can also do it on our Facebook page, or you can do both, right? I'm going to take basically how it works. In 6 days, I'm going to take the tally from both. Our winner will move on to round 2. All right. So that's the way it works. We got more of these coming up. So we'll see you tomorrow with another double shot of classic live album more. Got a couple other things I'm going to be hopefully doing. I know either sometime today, tonight, or tomorrow, I'm going to get to my top 10 favorite albums of all time. Okay, I'm working on that as we speak. So that's coming. Lots more of these and all sorts of other stuff. And hopefully a questions and answers live this weekend. All right, so we'll see you then, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.